about to find out. Yo, we live. We don't want to get banned from YouTube, right?
Nah, we don't
Nah.
want that.
We don't want to get banned, but we'll see what happens. Hey, welcome to the J.F.K. live stream. I go by the name of J.F.K.
I go by the name James Jackson. Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to get
Running
into
a
it.
little late.
Let's drop this. We definitely don't want to get banned, bro.
Nah, we don't want to get banned.
Yes. Yeah, let's see what happens.
His murder.
She's accused of killing her boyfriend, a Boston police officer.
It's the crime dividing a city.
They are protesting in favor of Karen Reed, saying she is innocent.
Who cheers for someone accused of murdering a police officer?
Lock her up.
She's been framed, and I'm not backing down till
Who
she
says
gets free.
that?
And now the woman at the center of it is speaking out.
Now, exclusive personal video. One-on-one with Karen Reed 1 week before her trial.
I'm confident I'm doing everything I can, and that includes looking professional for court. I just got the suit from the tailor because the sleeves are too long, and it's a pet peeve of my mother's to see people with sleeves that are too long.
It seems everyone has an opinion about this case and her.
Her attitude is smug. She's the happiest murder defendant in America.
What this woman has been put through, it's wrong.
He was lost in this whole circus, and I think
Yes,
none
Robin.
of us want
Yes.
him to be lost. I think that's the saddest part of this whole situation.
And now Karen Reed speaking out fully for herself.
You're alleging that they're covering it up. Why would they want to be involved in this conspiracy?
Because he's dead.
Because he's dead, dude. That's so deep. Yeah, man. You know. We got 73 people up in here. It's only right to start this off right. If you had one word to describe Karen Reed, what would it be? We just need one word. Tell him, James. What do we need?
One word. Just one. One word to describe. Karen Reed.
One word, people.
What's up, GG?
Strong. I like that. Resilient. I like that too. Honest. Innocent. This is your chat, people. Well, I like that one.
The door's out.
I like that one because that's what me and James think. We think she's a real warrior, right, James?
She's a true warrior
Something like the ultimate warrior.
in his prime.
Kick the cockpit door down. I am not the chosen one that you speak of. I am not. The only one.
It's a wild dude, man.
R.I.P. Warrior.
Yes.
R.I.P. the warrior. You know, great guy. You know, a little different, but definitely a good dude, man. Yo, Israel. What's up? Yo, what's poppin', pimp?
What's poppin', Israel? You got Bernadette. Wrestler's mom.
Hey, Wrestler's mom.
Hey, Wrestler's mom.
Wrestler's mom's looking right.
Is she liking the warrior? You just see that, Wrestler's mom? That was for you.
Innocent. Innocent. Nice. Hey guys, 508 up in here. What's up, Munchie? Hey man, we just sitting up in here. You know, I'm a little under the weather, so I'm laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
As he should be.
As you said. So James, last night's live, you know, we were talking about fame and how it could kind of get the best of you without you even knowing, and I could take advantage, and how everybody that's screaming free Karen Reed can actually turn against her. Do you think that's something that could be in the forecast?
Absolutely. I think within seconds that could be in the forecast. Hold on, it's got a huge mosquito in the house. Means time to take the air conditioners out
Yeah.
in Boston. That's what that means.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so I think that I'm sorry, real quick, I just got off track. What did you say again?
I said fame is a monster and it's
It
fleeting,
is.
right? And you know, she's doing all these things. She's getting pushed and pulled by whoever's telling her to do these things. Now, obviously, we're all about to watch in real time what exactly what this is gonna prove, or you know, what it's gonna do for her bio, so to speak, like her look on this whole case. And she's getting pushed and pulled. She's told, you know, she's being told to do this. Do you think it could backfire on her in any way?
It's very possible. I hate to say it like that, but it is. It's very possible it could backfire. I think this time around she's going to be a little more prepared than last time. As far as fame goes, I think she knows how to handle it a little better now than she did last time.
Mm. Well, they took it. They're taking parts from the old one and putting it with the new one. So we're about to see, everybody here. We're about to see. Hey, JFK, James Jackson, you two are fire. Yeah, well, you know, we try. Thank you, Amy Boston.
Amy Boston, she's always with us. We gotta love Amy. She's always rocking with us. JFK every single live. She's
Yes,
commenting on everything.
she is.
You know,
Amy,
as
Amy, where you from anyway? What part of Massachusetts you from? Where you from?
I bet you she's a North Shore girl. She's probably a Medford girl or something. Medford. What do they call it? Medfa? Metfa?
Meth.
We got the Metfa girls. The
Talked
Metfa
about you,
girls.
John, Sean.
Hyde
Oh,
Park.
he talked about you going on his show earlier tonight. Hey, that's what's up, man. I love Sean, man. He's a good guy, man, and we're just trying to make things happen, you know. You know, I actually seen that dude. What's his name? Jeffrey. Jeff.
Gigi. Oh,
Gigi.
yeah.
What? Oh, Gigi. What up, man? You from? Or I don't know if you're.
Oh,
I don't know if you're a woman or you're a man, but
yeah, man. But
the
yeah,
man.
that's cool. 781. What were you going to say about the Jeffrey? Because I think I know what you're going to say. He was the first one to comment before we even started tonight. I said,
Jeffrey, where you
Jeffrey.
at, man? Where you at, Jeffrey, man?
Oh, he was here. He's like, not again.
Jeffrey loves us, man.
Jeffrey, yeah, I think. Hey, you see,
I think Jeffrey, you know, I think he messes with us, man. You know, he might be on the
yeah,
other side, but you know, hey, it's okay, Jeff. You
everybody
can
got
rock
an
out with
opinion.
us.
Yeah,
Where you
I
at,
mean,
Jeff, man? Let us know, man. I want in real time. I want to watch this with you, you know. And if you're watching at home, Jeffrey, whatever. But I want you to jump back and I want you to tell us what you think. Is it gonna? What do you guys think right now? Do you think this is gonna be a good look or a bad look? You know, I know that's kind of way too fast to even talk about it, but you know, I hope it's a real good look. I hope it's not a bad look. You know, I'm a little
yeah,
nervous.
yeah. I
I'm a little
mean,
nervous because I seen a clip earlier. They released a clip earlier, and then she was talking about how she thought he got hit by a plow again. But that was
uh,
back in 20 that was back in 2023 when she did it initially. Like I said, they're taking two spaces in time. They're taking 2022 and 2023. So if in 2024 she's saying this, and in 2023 she's saying that, and then you got people on the other side, they're gonna just see all the contradictions, you know. And there's a lot of people there that don't know anything about Karen Reed. And tonight, Friday, September 6th. 2024, you know, everybody's gonna know, right? On 2020. So I hope it's, you know, it shines in a good light for her, you know, for real. I feel bad. I don't want to see, you know, something get twisted and spun, you know?
Yeah, Drea said at this point, it doesn't matter. Lines have been drawn. Well, I can see what she's saying, but we don't want lines to be drawn. We want it to be fair.
I just want her. I'm just hoping that she says, "Listen, I was talking to this dude, and before we left the bar, there was going to be a fight, and I got my memory back a little bit, and that's what happened. Because that's what they're saying happened, right? They keep saying third party culprit.
Right.
We're not.
Just tell us what happened when he left, cuz you took him there, so you knew his energy when he left that bar. I just want to know, what did he do after that heel toe? Because
What did
you ain't doing a heel toe and then just, all right, let's go watch Netflix and chill. You're doing a heel toe and you're getting into some shit. Fair to say.
fair to say? It's 8:59 on the clock.
Let's do it.
We got 159 people up in here, James. You know, um, wherever you're at around the world, just want to say peace. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate your time for
Yes.
sure. Anyone with half a brain who watched this trial knows she's innocent. Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
But that's the problem. There's a lot of people who didn't, believe it or not. There's a lot of people who didn't watch this trial,
Right.
you know?
Here we go.
Allison became a YouTube member. Thank you, Allison. Appreciate that. Let's see what's going on over here. Okay. So that Shark Tank clicking on the other side of the channel. I'm looking at it now. As soon as Shark Tank gets over, we're gonna just take it over there to Channel
Oh,
5.
wow.
Your man J.F.K. is a little messed up. I think I got the COVID, but
Oh
you know,
no. Everybody pray for J.F.K. He's not feeling well tonight, but he's here for
yeah.
you.
I
Nah,
well,
but he's still.
I've been under the weather for 3-4 days. It just kicked up hard today. You know, that's why I think it's something like COVID, because my body's been hurting for like 3-4 days, and now it's like real sign like in my head. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It feels like COVID, you know. And when you go to the doctor, they say, "Hey, you don't even have to take a COVID test. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to. You'll be all right." It's
Yeah,
like,
but
okay,
now they're saying there's so many, these side effects with all these shots and everything, bro. You just thug it out like we used to. I
dug it.
just put my YouTube channel in the chat,
I got it right here.
and
We got 179 people up in here. If we could get at least 50 people right now to go over to James Jackson and give him a sub, that'd be awesome. All right, we got
yeah,
some
that'd be
commercials.
great.
We got some
Yeah.
commercials running right now. Hold on a second.
Oh, COVID is not over. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me get this share screen up there. Now let's get it going. Here we go. Here we go. Let me get some volume on this.
Karen Reed indicted for second-degree murder in the death of Officer John O'Keefe.
This is how it just ended, with a media storm.
Here we go.
But it started with a real storm.
I was worried he might have gotten hit by a plow. That was my first thought. It's the only explanation I could think of for why John just disappeared into thin air.
And now the woman at the center of it is speaking out fully for the first
He
time.
disappeared in thin air?
There.
I don't know, man.
That was my first thought that came. She said that was my first thought that came to.
Face. I remember pounding on my dresser and just like literally screaming like "not John" over and over.
Is it possible that you hit him with the back of your car and just didn't realize it?
And I said, this guy didn't get hit by a
Right
car.
here.
John O'Keefe was murdered, no question. He died at the hands of another person.
Nobody could have imagined like what was about to happen next.
There are people that know exactly what happened to John O'Keefe, and they aren't talking.
The whole story hinges on how he got here. Did you kill John O'Keefe?
The perfect storm.
Emergency has
Wow.
been declared, and the Boston residents need to be prepared for this one.
This is likely to be an intense, dangerous storm with heavy snow, high winds, and whiteout conditions.
Temperatures will be dropping down into the single digits and below zero with the wind chills.
Amy, I've been doing
treacherous
that.
conditions, dangerous, sometimes life-threatening conditions here in Boston. Best thing you can do is stay inside.
Oh, wow, it looks pretty dope, though. The graphics and all that.
Yeah.
You ask any Bostonian, and they have a story they can tell you about a blizzard. But the blizzard of 2022 was a pretty epic one. By the time it was over, it would make the record books. But the story of what unfolded in the nearby suburb of Canton, Massachusetts, that January night would also be one for the ages. A murder that continues to tear apart an entire town.
His body was found in a snowbank in Canton.
His body discovered in a pile of snow.
Injuries, including skull fractures and signs of hypothermia.
The question is, how did this happen? Who is responsible?
It begins in the middle of the night with the blizzard raging, and Karen Reed says she wakes up to find her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, not at home. Now, despite that storm, they've been out together with friends at bars, and she says she went home first. He stayed out. So she starts anxiously calling the friends they'd been out with just a few hours earlier.
I called a few of his buddies, their wives. I knew something was wrong.
One of her first calls is to Jennifer McCabe, part of that group. When the bar closed, Jennifer and others had gone to have drinks at a nearby house on Fairview Road. But Karen says she didn't feel like staying out, so she says she dropped off John outside the house and continued back to his place.
I said, Jen, John didn't come home.
Now Karen Reed appears to be in a full panic.
So I said, well, then I don't know where he is. And I said, I'm going to go back to the bars. Like, maybe they let people back in after hours.
Her next call is to John's friend, Carrie Roberts, who lives nearby. Now, she wasn't at the after party or with anybody who was, but maybe she's heard from him. She hasn't.
Carrie Roberts makes a call to the local hospital, to the police department, trying to see if anything happened to John that night.
Hi, my name is Carrie. I'm calling because my friend's boyfriend did not come home last night. We were at Waterfall. She doesn't know where he is. You didn't pick anybody up by the name of John O'Keefe, did you?
He has not been admitted to a hospital, and he has not been involved in any accidents.
Not a single person says they've seen John since he left the bar.
You were going to canvass the rest of the neighborhood.
Yeah, just going to drive around in the 2 square miles that we spent the preceding night. Now I have an immense sense of dread, like a fright in me that I have not experienced before.
So you're driving around. Do you expect to see him like lying on the street drunk?
Yeah.
Or passed out?
I was worried he might have gotten hit by a plow. That was my first thought. It's the only explanation I could think of for why John just disappeared into thin air. He's not where I thought he was, and nobody has seen him. The only other vehicles on the road are plows.
This is 90.9 WBUR. It is 24 degrees in Boston, and there will be near whiteout conditions at times.
I go back by the bars, I drive around. After about 20 minutes of driving around, I go to get Jen.
She gets to Jennifer McCabe's, Carrie Roberts shows up, and they decide together, let's go back to John's.
You can see this moment captured on one of John's home security cameras.
The 3 women head inside to see if John has come home.
So now it's 5:36, still pitch black outside, and we spent about 10 minutes at John's.
The 3 women are now taking this harrowing ride around town in the blizzard conditions. They're searching for John, screaming his name. Karen is in the backseat. Now she's frantically texting more people. But again, no one says they've heard from John. Now the women decide to go back to Fairview Road, where Karen says she last saw John, dropping him off for the after party.
As you come down Fairview, there's a bit of a decline, and it curves to the left. And my eyes are peeled. And I said, he's right there. I jumped out the passenger side, and I fell into the street. His eyes were shut, and he had spots of blood in different areas on his face. And he was still, not stiff, but still. It was cold. I felt cold, but I didn't feel dangerously cold. And it was just an odd feeling to know that I'm okay. I'm not dying, but he's here with me and he's dying, and I can't warm him up.
I know. Where are the blankets? I don't see blankets, Carrie.
911, what's your emergency?
There's a man passed out in the snow.
Hello?
Officers were up to 3 females on the scene, and John is laying on his back. He's got injuries to his face. He had 2 black eyes. He's cold to the touch. He's not dressed in appropriate clothing for the temperature. He's wearing a long sleeve t-shirt, and he's actually missing one of his shoes. By all accounts, Karen is inconsolable. She's yelling, she's screaming, she's crying.
I had called my father. He didn't answer, and I texted him, John is dead. I didn't know for sure that John was dead, but I'm trying to elicit a response, and I thought John could be dead. And he called me back, and I was distraught. And I said, I don't want to live. I mean, I didn't have any ideation of harming myself.
It's the new one, Amy.
I've never dealt with grief of this magnitude, and I just felt out of my skin.
Looks
So
old.
my father.
It is.
Right.
Oh, it is old. This is they're
They put me
cutting
in
it
a
up.
psychiatric
Yeah.
hold. They took my phone, they took my clothes, they wouldn't let me speak to anyone. And then sometime later, about mid-morning, I saw John's parents and brother pass in the ER and all go into the door, 2 doors down.
But despite medical personnel working on John, his injuries and his exposure to the cold are just too much. He's pronounced dead.
I remember pounding on my dresser and just like literally screaming like not John over and over.
John O'Keefe's tragic death stuns not only his family and friends, but an entire community, because John was one of Boston's finest, Boston PD. And the lawn of the house where he was found is the home of another Boston police officer. This investigation is about to explode.
Big bad Brian Albert's about to step on the scene.
Hold on a second, guys. Let me stop this.
We're messy.
Let me just
Thank
lower
you.
this for a second. So I don't
Thank you, chat. Thank you guys for being here. And yes, thank J.F.K.
What do you feel?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We got 545 people in the chat.
Nice.
I mean, so far, I like the intro. I like what they did with the graphics and the cinematic approach and all that. And I just don't like that they were lazy. They took the old footage that they had just for time, right? So what they're doing is, people, and I'm pretty sure you guys know, they're taking the old stuff they had that was on the cutting room floor. They're taking that, and the next half, we're gonna see the stuff when she was in trial. Want to make a full hour segment? I'm taking it, so they're taking a half hour older stuff and putting it with the newest stuff, which means what I'm trying to say is in 2022, she was being more cordial, right? She was saying, oh, well, I don't know. Where else could he be? You know, maybe he went back to the bar. I don't know. In the next clip we're going to see in the next half hour, if she's going to be screaming the same stuff, she might be saying, he definitely didn't go back to the bar. You know what I'm trying to say, James? Because she had to keep it real cordial right there, because that was way before the trial.
Right.
That was in I think that was probably like the beginning of 2023, that footage.
Yeah, that was.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it's
So she
like,
was keeping it real. She was keeping it real, you know, I don't know if cordial is the right word. She was keeping it real neutral. You know, she wasn't trying to place the blame. She was, you know, she was just, hey, you know, it's possible he could have went back. I talked to Jen. It was all good. You know, she was letting that conspiracy play out itself. You
yeah,
know,
but
Turtle.
she still yet wasn't being 100% because she
Yeah,
didn't
well, now
talk
in
about.
2024, she's all in, right? She's at the
Right.
rallies. She's like, forget these people. You know, I'm pretty sure she's angry now in 2024. But the fact that she's letting that, the fact the way they're doing this, I think it's like a lazy type of hustle. You know, just for the fact they're just trying to get a full hour in.
Oh
Because,
yeah, they're trying to get their TV time in for sure.
I mean, I don't like what she's saying in the first half hour. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, I mean, this is telling me nothing. If this is the case, then, I mean, honestly, if I was a casual person, right? I was casual. This is the first time I ever seen this. I would say this girl is full of it. That's what I would say.
Right.
And just on this little piece that we just seen right now, I would say, come on. Because it's not telling me nothing. You know? You was frantic. You was upset. Tell me why you was upset. What about the ATF agent you was talking to behind his back?
That's the stuff we need to hear.
I'm just
That's
saying that.
just
You got fans like us.
right.
We're fans of this. We do this every night, just like everybody in the chat. 544 people.
Yep.
And
I mean, it just goes to show you. I mean, we know what happened, so just say it. I mean, that's what happened. It was either over or that.
hold on a second. We're coming back. I think. Okay, guys. So let me get some volume going on over here.
Thank you, Amy.
Let me get some volumes.
After being found outside during the blizzard.
John O'Keefe, a 16-year veteran of the department, was killed this past weekend during that powerful nor'easter.
It's not clear how he died.
His body discovered outside the Canton home of a fellow officer.
It was always Johnny's dream to become a Boston police officer.
While other people were trying to figure out where they belonged in the world, he knew he wanted to be a cop.
His grandfather was a cop. It was kind of in his DNA.
There was never an ounce of fear with that job.
This guy.
This guy, man.
We grew up in Braintree, which is middle class, Boston suburb, heavy Irish, heavy Italian, and Johnny was both.
John is the middle child of 3. His sister Kristen is just 22 months older, and his brother Paul several years younger.
They were kind of your prototypical middle-class Braintree family. Always a lot of stuff going on at the house. His mother is an unbelievable cook, mainly Italian. His dad is a very solid, consistent, funny guy.
The O'Keefe is one branch of this very large family tree. What were they like?
Incredible family. Any given Sunday, they would call my parents up and say, we're bringing over a bucket of chicken and we're coming over to use your pool. And it was great. They were great.
Johnny and I grew up on the same street. We were in Little League together, elementary school, all the way through high school, and went to proms and homecoming together. And he was in my wedding party.
That's his guy, huh?
I met Johnny in college. The very first day of school we met, and
But he never met Karen.
They both shared a love for their Boston sports teams, the New England Patriots and, of course, the Red Sox.
Oh,
opening day was a religious day for him.
We working over here.
He went every year.
We are definitely working. We love the Red Sox too.
I dated Johnny early 2000s, then stayed friends for over 20 years. We were just important in each other's lives, always. He was just a natural, caring, protector kind of person.
And when John becomes an uncle, he becomes this protector to his nieces and nephew as well.
He slid right into that cool uncle role. Uncle Johnny was always there, whether it was sporting events or first communions or just family gatherings. They were a large part of who he was.
But in 2013, the O'Keefe family gets devastating news when John's older sister, Kristen, is diagnosed with cancer.
Kristen was diagnosed with a very aggressive brain tumor.
Johnny was there day one. He took her to all of her treatments. He was unbelievable, making sure that the kids were taken care of.
Just a little over 5 months from the time that it was diagnosed till Kristen passed.
That was a huge loss.
When she passed, he lost a part of himself.
Johnny immediately decided that he was going to move in with Kristen's husband, Steve, to help him and kind of do a my two dads thing, he called it. And then unfortunately, and almost unbelievably, Steve passed away almost exactly 2 months after Kristen did.
Johnny's niece was 6, and Johnny's nephew was 3.
That's horrible.
Johnny was going to step in and raise those kids.
He was about to
That's
become a
terrible,
single parent
man.
overnight.
In a very short amount of time, John loses his sister, his brother-in-law. He takes in their kids. How was he able to handle all of this?
He had a big support system between family and a lot of people in Canton helped him out.
And emotionally, how did he do?
I guess he just knew he had to.
His life didn't stop. He was always doing something. The kids came first.
By 2020, John is a single dad, a cop, raising 2 kids in the middle of a global pandemic. And that's when he reconnects with someone from his past, Karen Reed, who he briefly dated many years earlier. How did you meet John O'Keefe?
I met John in 2004, February, at his sister's 30th birthday party.
And so what drew you to him? I mean, what did you like about him?
I thought he was handsome and he was sweet. And I mean, I was 24, so that was about the criteria at the time. It just came and went and didn't speak to him again. Not intentionally, it just wasn't serious.
But now, more than 15 years later, Karen is living in the Boston area with a career as a financial analyst and an adjunct professor teaching finance. And she sees a message from John on Facebook.
When I saw his picture, it was with several young children, and then it triggered my memory that his sister and his sister's husband had passed away. And he told me, yeah, I have the kids now. I thought that was amazing. And he said they're 9 and 12. 3 days later, he came over and I cooked, and it was like very natural.
How serious did things get that second round?
Pretty serious, very fast. The second week, he said, "Do you want to come, meet the crew, meet his niece and nephew?" I was happy to go.
Was there talk of marriage?
No. No.
Did you want that?
I would have considered it strongly for John, but it's not ever been something that I've aspired to.
Damn.
We are expecting as much as 18 to 24 inches of snow and 40 to 50 mile per hour winds.
I think everyone knows that whatever you're going to do that weekend is going to get canceled.
A snow emergency has been declared. A lot of people take that opportunity. Okay, I'll go out tonight. Because tomorrow everybody's going to be shut down. City officials say this will be a blockbuster event.
You saw that?
John makes plans to meet with a friend on the Meg Drag in Canton, just about a mile from his house. His nephew is at a sleepover that night.
Get his shovel, Jeff.
He's at home.
Early in the evening, John O'Keefe goes out with a buddy down to C.F. McCarthy's, and Karen decides to meet him there. Now, John didn't drive there. John got a ride from his friend, so he was telling Karen that he was going to need a ride.
I ended up leaving my house to join John in Canton at 8:30.
So you met him for drinks?
Yep.
How did the night go?
It was fine. I walked in, he was with 3 other fellas. I got there a little after 9.
The other
And he gave me a
fellas.
hug.
They stay at C.F. McCarthy's for a while, and then
Do you see
decide
Julie in there?
to go meet some more friends over at the Waterfall Bar and Grill, which is just across the street and down. It's a 2-minute walk.
Yeah,
So
but
who
No,
was
I
there when
think
you got there?
I think it was just 2 other guys in
At
there.
the table are members of a couple of families who have
first person he
deep
walks up
ties
to,
the
Higgins.
town. The
Hey,
Albert
Higgins.
We've got Chris
Higgins.
Albert, who used to live down the street from John. Also at the table, Brian Albert, Chris's brother.
But did you see the way he
like
came
John,
into
is a
Higgins?
Boston police officer.
Like
He's
he
actually
knew.
the leader of an elite squad tasked with catching dangerous criminals. He even helped solve the infamous Boston Strangler case.
We said hi to a bunch of people. We stayed there for about 90 minutes.
There's video, so you can kind of see what's happening, and it looks like a typical night. People are snuggling up around the bar. They're drinking. They're goofing around a little bit.
Karen said she'd only met Brian Albert once before, but she said she felt like John really wanted to make good impressions on the Alberts.
Brian Albert, whose home is about 5 minutes away, invites everyone over for an after party. Now, there's already a party with some young adults taking place at his house because it's Brian Jr.'s birthday. So they all gather up and head out.
Also heading out with the group is Brian Albert's wife, Nicole, and her sister,
This guy's doing
Jennifer
graphics
McCabe,
like me.
who John had known for years. And there was Brian Higgins, an
Here he is.
ATF agent who was also friends with the Alberts.
Shortly after midnight, security cameras showed John walk out of the waterfall bar and into the snowy night. John has a cocktail glass in his hand. Seconds later, the two get into Karen's black SUV and they drive away. A mere 8 hours later, John O'Keefe will be dead.
A Chewy order is on the way for...
Pretty boy Higgy. You think so?
It's crazy,
He's a bust-
right?
Yeah. Higgy's a buster. Oh man, I saw in the chat someone said that I guess the friend now, the one that called Johnny and all that, I guess he's now free Karen Reed.
these
someone said,
sandwiches, I'm gonna be the
which would be interesting to see if he, speaks out about that now, why he changed his mind.
Not that dude.
Yeah, that's what that's what they saying.
That
Well,
dude with the red hair? Nah.
Yeah, that's what she said.
No, they're wrong about that. Not him. The one at the beginning of my video every time? This guy right here?
Yes.
Michael Proctor could have written text messages that he didn't know would go public that he regrets sending.
Nah.
I'm
does
saying,
not
I'm just
Listen to him.
nullify
The evidence
that says that
Johnny was
hit by a truck. Yeah, I know.
Man, hell no.
Man, if you're still in the chat, I'm sorry, I forgot whoever's name it was. Could you please put that back? I don't know. Someone in the chat said it. I'm telling you, guys, I wouldn't just say this. All right.
Nah, I think it's somebody else that was one of his
I don't
friends
think
that-
so. I didn't think so either.
Nah,
when I saw it.
listen to me. There's another one of his friends who was against her that's been going on platforms.
Yeah, I
And that
saw
changed his mind. This guy is a thing. So how are we feeling so far about this? Are we convinced? I mean, if we were casual fans, we all know the ins and out of this case. If we were casual fans right now, stumbling upon 2020, how are we feeling about Karen Reed right now? Is this making her look good so far, or is it making her look bad? How are we feeling about this?
I saw it too. James is telling the truth. Thank you. Oh, that's funny. I think it's just they're adding some news, like you said. But I think they're using a lot.
We didn't get there yet. We didn't even get to the new stuff yet.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to much new stuff, but I like how some of these new effects you can see they're using. They changed.
Yeah, but the casual fans don't care about that. We care about that because that's what we're into. The graphics, the cinematic approach. That's real cute. That's cute. But ain't nobody care about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like people want to hear the juice, man. You know? How we feeling, people? Damn, this dude says, damn, son. Damn, yup. That was pretty. He said this. I lost him, man. My bad. He said guilty, this dude named Yup. He
Oh
said guilty
wow.
is you seen that? J.F.K. come out the rain. I like the rain. You know? Yeah, we about to be back. You know? Add to the stiz age. And here we go. About to rock out with this. Oh, we got some dilemmas.
Well, the
Moving slow.
weather outside is frightening. Look at this. Pretty soon.
I got a call from their mutual friend that we grew up with. They said Johnny's dead.
Brennan called me. Of course, he told me the news.
That's the dude who switched up.
And can't even explain it. Can't even explain the feeling.
He's on our side now, this guy.
I remember pounding on my
This
dresser,
guy here.
just like literally screaming, like, not John. Not after what that family's been through and how much those kids need him.
What was it like getting that news?
It's awful.
It's like a bad dream.
Tough, man. Tough.
I was released from the hospital at noon. My father and my brother and sister-in-law came to pick me up. And I said, Dad, I have to go see the kids. I just can't imagine what they're going through. I just want to hug them.
They all head to John's house where his family has now gathered. Her car still in the driveway. And that's when Karen says she stops to show her dad her cracked taillight, something she says she had noticed earlier that morning when searching for John with Jennifer and Carrie.
I showed my dad my light. It was cracked. And he said, I just want to make sure the light is operational. I'm not going to put your car back on the road if I know it's impaired in any way.
Whoa.
So we go into the house. John's nephew was not home from his sleepover yet, but John's parents, Paul, his brother, his niece were there.
Karen says John's mother seemed
Yikes.
They had pulled into the driveway before me. So I was presuming she saw my cracked taillight and was thinking, did you hit my son? I could sense from her that She was looking at me very warily. And then when John's nephew came home, I just wanted to see him and squeeze him and hug him. It was quite uncomfortable. I said, Dad, come upstairs to the master bedroom. And I said, I think I need to leave. I said, I think John's mother thinks I did something to John.
At what point on Saturday, the 29th, did you have the wherewithal to think, maybe I need an attorney?
As soon as I interacted with John's mother at John's house, when we were driving home, I said to my father, I got to get an attorney.
That's a smart move to get legal advice under those circumstances.
She had hired an attorney. That was it. No more contact, which I find odd.
What did the family do then?
Well, it was a blizzard. We couldn't
Yes,
do
we
anything.
couldn't do anything.
We couldn't be together.
Couldn't go anywhere.
Until like the day after.
I went to Peggy's or Johnny's house and just to be with her and Uncle John and a few of his friends and just to be with her. We just sat around and talked and laughed and cried.
And you're now with a mother who lost two children in the space of a couple of years.
Yes.
Jesus.
And
God,
she's strong as steel.
Crazy.
God bless Peggy, man.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, an investigation is underway. Now, the Massachusetts State Police come in. In this case, the state police completely take over the case because the Canton Police Department doesn't want the appearance of a conflict of interest.
There's literally a blizzard hitting Canton, Massachusetts on top of this crime scene. This becomes a huge challenge for investigators.
Unfortunately, in this situation, the crime scene that you arrive on is not the same crime scene that's going to exist 30 minutes later because it's snowing and it's windy and it's cold. So the evidence is changing. And you're trying to do this as quickly as you can, but you also don't want to miss steps because you're rushing. So it's definitely a race against the clock.
There are plows that are going by.
And in situations like that, you kind of have to just go with what you think is going to work best for the situation.
They bring out a leaf blower and they're trying to blow the snow to uncover whatever evidence might be.
Oh, man.
According to police reports, what investigators initially preserved at the scene are 6 samples of what appears to be blood and a broken cocktail glass. Remember, according to the security footage, when John O'Keefe walks out of the Waterfall bar, he's got a cocktail glass in his hand.
That afternoon, the lead detective on the case, Trooper Michael Proctor, and his colleague from the Massachusetts State Police pay a visit to Karen at her parents' house. They see her car parked there and describe that broken taillight in their official police report as shattered.
When the troopers came to my house, now I know I haven't done anything, but they said if we're just trying to help find out what happened to John, if you care about John, you need to help us piece together his final moments. And I answered their questions.
Karen appears very forthcoming.
She says they had an argument earlier in the morning about what she fed his niece for breakfast.
She admits that she was drinking that night and was operating a motor vehicle.
She tells officers that they go out drinking. She says that she and John drove to the Alberts house. She tells officers that she had what she referred to as stomach issues. So she said that she decided to call it a night and go home.
After the detectives interview Karen, they seize her car and they tow it.
There it is.
They then process the vehicle for evidence. They notice that the rear right side tail light is broken and there's missing pieces of the red and clear plastic that should have been on top of it. There were shards of glass that were in the bumper of the vehicle.
The medical examiner is searching John's body for clues.
The medical examiner
Thank you.
ruled that John's
Thank you.
cause of death was from an injury he sustained from blunt force trauma and then hypothermia.
This was a combined effect of multiple skull fractures, swelling and bleeding inside his brain, and also the cold.
Later in the day that John died, investigators at the scene report finding pieces of red plastic taillight and a clear piece of plastic at the scene. Pieces that appear to match the missing pieces from Karen Reed's SUV.
1,000 people
Days
in the
later,
chat,
as
huh?
the snow begins to melt.
Crazy.
Authorities say they find additional pieces on the scene. So just how was that taillight broken?
Hurry in to claim yours from millions in cold cash we're giving away in stores only while supplies last. Plus, take an extra.
Wow, we got a little crash. They crashed us out. Sorry about that. We still on though. We still here. We still here. They
Still
crashed
here,
us out
yeah,
just a little
yeah.
bit. They
The
just
Fed
crashed us
shut
out a
us
little bit.
down.
Yeah, they shut us down real quick, but we back. We back. We back. We back. We
They
back.
said all they could see was James. I was just sitting there like, hey,
Yeah. Now we crashed a little bit, but
I
we're all right.
should
We're
have
all
did
right.
the don't move. We
Yeah,
back.
we're all right. We back. We back. A little crash site. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
they. My tail light smashed out, but we're back. I mean, it's getting good though. What do we think so far about this? You know, YouTube don't play. That's okay. We don't play either. You know, but we're back.
Right.
You know, we're back. We're back. I thought it was going to stream too. Could watch. Glad someone let us know. Brian's chat. JFK was streaming the broadcast. We're still here. It's still on, man. I just got it off. I got it off the stage right now. We'll be back shortly. So stay in there. Stay locked in. You know, we'll try to get the second half coming up. I'm sorry about that little crash site. You know what I mean? Um, you know, it happens. What do you think about it so far? How are we feeling about this? You know, we're hearing about Peggy, how she lost, you know, all her daughter and her son, and
Terrible, man.
you know, and then
Absolutely terrible.
and you know, this is old footage of Karen. This is not new, so this is weird, man. I don't know, you know. Go, Randy. Okay. All right, Paul. I'll do that for
Okay.
you.
Go, Paul.
No problem, Paulie.
Oh, Paulie. What are they saying in the chat? Nobody's saying how they feeling so far. Peggy needs to blame someone. Well,
Trying to get people up there.
that's only gonna go for so long.
Yeah.
Peggy blaming someone.
Yeah, we back. Oh, we back. Oh, we back, people. Oh, we back. And just like that, we back on.
Here we go.
Pretty unbelievable day.
It was one of those days that just chills you to the bone. The wind was making the flag blow, but it wasn't making a sound. There was just something so surreal, so eerie about it all. Everything stopped for the police procession. Somebody referred to it as a blue column. Countless police officers, I mean hundreds.
Thank you, Elaine.
In a line of two, came down the aisle. We all just paused. You could hear a pin drop.
And the funeral the next day was rough too.
Damn.
A number of us were asked to be pallbearers, and what stands out the most is we were standing inside the church. And you could hear Amazing Grace on the bagpipe. And they said they were going to give us a notification when the hearse arrived. And the moment that will never leave my brain is when we opened up the doors to that church. There were 50 bagpipers. There were rows and rows and rows of police officers. It was like nothing I've ever seen before.
Crazy.
The priest who said Johnny's funeral mass grew up with Johnny.
Sadly, the priest at John's funeral had presided over his sister Kristen's funeral mass as well.
Sheesh.
He acknowledged that a lot of us in the crowd were familiar, that he spoke about the pain in the room, that this family had been through too much and lost too much already. And then Paul got up, he was brave, he gave a beautiful eulogy. He made everyone laugh, you know, talking about like Johnny's personality. He spoke about how Johnny never left Christy's side during her battle with cancer. And praised him for taking care of the kids the way he did. And then the last line of his eulogy was, "We'll take it from here." And that was John's last line of his eulogy 9 years prior on the same altar when Christy died.
Sheesh.
It's unfathomable, you know?
While John's family and friends were making plans to honor his memory, police have been busy as well, putting together their theory on what happened that snowy night and how John O'Keefe sustained those fatal injuries. And they've determined that the evidence points directly to Karen Reed.
It was about 7 p.m. I was talking to my best friend on the phone, and I said, "There's a lot of cops circling." And I said, "I think I'm gonna get arrested." When they come, they look like regular people, but they're here to take you away. It's scary.
Did they knock on the door?
Can't remember if they knocked or if they rang the bell, but they circled the whole property. There were cops everywhere. They were shining lights in my back window, my front.
What was that moment like when you felt the metal handcuffs go on you and they put you into a squad car?
It's scary. You're short of breath, and we're careening up the highway. Your ankles are shackled and your arms are behind you, and you just try to concentrate on your breathing. It's frightening. It's frightening.
Oh, she's
having a hard time.
When I got to the barracks, there were local news stations.
Karen Reed's charges and what she was arraigned on
Well,
were
she had a time with that.
manslaughter, negligent homicide, and leaving the scene of an accident involving injury.
Yikes.
The theory was that she hit John O'Keefe with a car and left the scene.
Prosecutors lay out the charges. They say that those pieces of plastic uncovered at the crime scene are consistent with pieces missing from Karen's taillight. And, according to police statements, Carrie Roberts, who was with Karen in the blizzard searching for John, told police that Karen seemed intoxicated. Jennifer McCabe told police Karen asked her, "Could I have hit him? Did I hit him?" during the search for John's body. In court, Assistant District Attorney Adam Lally details the charges.
Officers interviewed a firefighter paramedic from the town of Canton. Defendants then made several statements to her indicating, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him."
I said, "I hit him." It was preceded by a did and proceeded by a question mark. Did I hit him?
According to prosecutors, Karen's blood alcohol content was between a 0.07 and a 0.08 when she was tested at the hospital at 9:08 a.m. after being transported from the scene. That's about 9 hours after they left the bar. In all 50 states in America, if you are a 0.08 or above, you are under the influence for the purpose of driving a motor vehicle. Her attorney responded that day.
I don't see any criminal intent that would justify manslaughter. And there's a reason for that, because there was no criminal intent. This was not some random stranger. This was my client's boyfriend, somebody with whom she was in love. She had no idea that he was deceased or that anything had happened.
What did you plead?
Not guilty.
Court is setting bail in the amount of $50,000 cash.
Karen Reed posted $50,000 bail and left.
But the stakes are about to get much higher.
Indicted time.
Karen's manslaughter charge is upgraded to second-degree murder.
The line between a gross vehicular manslaughter and second-degree murder is very, very thin. In Massachusetts, you must prove that a defendant acted with conscious disregard for human life.
Is it possible that you might have hit him unwittingly in your admittedly very large SUV?
No, not possible.
And now Karen Reed's defense takes
Uncle
a
Al.
dramatic turn, bringing in a top legal gun, and the defense is about to introduce a very different theory than what the prosecution says happened that night.
John O'Keefe
Alan
was
Jackson.
murdered, no question.
He's
He died
working
at the hands
too.
of another person. It just wasn't Karen Reed.
If you think this is going to be an open and shut case, it isn't.
Here we come, chat. Here we come.
If you have
That's us. That's us outside.
That's wild for the night, huh? How we feeling so far? How we feeling so far, people? How we feeling? You know, it's pretty crazy so far. How we feeling so far? You guys like this? Is it doing anything? Does it shed light on anything so far? Does it shed any light? I think we already knew all this, right? I mean, I feel like we've seen this before. I mean, I like what they did with the John O'Keefe showing more of him,
I
showing
was
the
just gonna
funeral.
say that, JFK. I'm so glad you said that. Go ahead, finish.
No, you go ahead, man.
No, I think it's great, man. I think it's great you said that. I think it's great they're touching on John O'Keefe more and making it more about John O'Keefe because I feel a little bit, just a little bit, John O'Keefe might have got lost in the shuffle. And we need to keep him up. You know, prayers is still for John O'Keefe. Justice for John O'Keefe. It's free Karen Reed. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I'm glad to see that.
I think that was their goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we knew everything else. We already seen this. I mean, they're just adding in a little bit of verbiage. They're not really, there's just a couple other little things they're adding in there, but it's, for the most part, it's the same interview we've seen before. No, so far.
Yes, sir. A lot of people saying the same thing. You know, basically.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. That sounds ugly.
It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not feeling well and you want to.
No, we're fine, brother. We're fine, man. Come on. Stop that.
I know. Just putting it out there. How them Patriots looking this year? Whatever, man. How many years we gotta win it? I mean,
yeah, it's but with that being said, we can just hit them with a little bit of this, since we're talking about John O'Keefe.
What they talking about? I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten. Life keeps going by, please tell me why am I living? Poison in my mind, losing sight now with this blind vision. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten.
Call 911, officer down, don't make a sound, there's an officer in the house. All I can feel is my phone vibrate. Wish you was here, not sitting at my place. Who let the dogs out? Someone close the gate. It's cold where the broken face, please Lord, not today. Laying on this grass, I can hear the snakes. Wish you would've told me he was feeling away when he sent you that text. Seen the fear in your face, then he texted me too. Coming here, then you drove away.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten. Life keeps going by, please tell me why am I living? Poison in my mind, losing sight now with this blind vision. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten.
And I thought that was going to be it. Karen would do her time and we'd have to face grieving John. But nobody could have imagined what was about to happen next.
She got red handcuffs.
Thank you.
One of the first big twists in this case begins when Karen adds a heavy hitter to her defense team.
Alan Jackson, we got to know at Court TV. For years, we talked about Alan Jackson as being one of the sharpest prosecutors we'd ever seen.
For almost 2 decades, he'd handled some of Los Angeles County's most notorious cases, including the conviction of famed music producer Phil Spector for murdering actress Lana Clarkson.
I think his motive could be summed up with one word: his problem with rage.
How did you
One
first
word.
become involved in this case?
In the summer of 2022, I received an email from Karen Reed. I get a lot of emails, but this one stood out. The subject line was something along the lines of murder of a Boston police officer. Karen had supplemented the email with some autopsy photos. I was in the process of perusing those, and I said, this guy didn't get hit by a car. Once I got the photos, I realized something is very, very wrong with this investigation.
At a pretrial hearing, the defense puts those photos front and center. In Massachusetts, autopsy photos are normally sealed until trial.
When John O'Keefe was found, he had this set of wounds on his right arm. This is, according to the Commonwealth, a set of injuries that John O'Keefe suffered at the hands of being struck by a moving vehicle.
That is a disgusting move to put those
Thank
in
you.
public like that. It's opening up wounds every single time you see those pictures.
I would ask the common sense question, does this look like a road rash? Or does it look more like claw marks and bite marks from an animal?
Karen's defense team is laying out a stunning new theory of what they say happened. They're alleging that after Karen dropped off John at fellow officer Brian Albert's home, he entered the home and somehow became involved in a fight.
We know that he was beaten. We've got evidence that John O'Keefe was beaten, that he lay there unconscious.
And during that fight, they claimed the Alberts' dog, a German Shepherd, may also have attacked John, contributing to those injuries. Then the defense says John was eventually dumped outside in the snow and left to die.
There are people in that house that are actually responsible for his death and who murdered him. And there are others in the house who are covering up that murder.
But the homeowners, Brian and Nicole Albert, and 8 other people in the house the night of the after party, including Jennifer McCabe and Brian Higgins, say that John O'Keefe never stepped foot inside that house. Every single person in that house denies playing any part in John's death or being part of any cover-up that the defense is alleging.
There was no evidence that Mr. O'Keefe was beaten and left for dead. There was no evidence of any defensive wounds.
The prosecution is steadfast in what they believe the evidence shows happened that night. John exited Karen's vehicle, she struck him with her SUV, and left him to die in the snow. They also argue Karen had been drinking heavily.
They all were.
Why would they want to be involved in this conspiracy?
Because he's dead. I think things went too far. It was late. There was alcohol involved.
It was so ridiculous I dismissed it immediately from the beginning. There have been multiple theories floated by the defense team, each of which more ridiculous, frankly.
Damn. In the months leading up to trial, the defense makes several claims they say point to their client's innocence.
I've never been more confident in anything I've ever said in a legal proceeding in my life. Karen Reed did not do this.
The defense also accuses the lead
That's
investigator
deep.
in the case of
Yep.
having a conflict of interest.
You don't need
They
to go
claim
that
in
deep.
court filings and at hearings that the lead detective, Trooper Michael Proctor of the Massachusetts State Police, is a longtime friend of the Albert and McCabe families and is also in on the
Damn
alleged cover-up.
ginger. Oh, shit.
Prosecutor
That's
Adam
crazy.
Lally definitively denies any conflict of interest.
Not to belabor the point, the Commonwealth does not concede anything as it relates to any sort of
That's
relationship.
wild,
The district
huh?
attorney flat out denies that Trooper Michael Proctor was involved in any way in any type of cover-up, as the defense is alleging, saying Proctor would have no motive to do so. Also, one of the defense's central claims appears in a motion they file about the timing of a Google search that Karen's defense team claims will unequivocally exonerate Karen Reed. It's a Google search made on Jennifer McCabe's phone. Jennifer attended the after party in the Alberts home on Fairview Road and was then with Karen when they found John's body in the snow.
The defense and Karen Reed and her family believes at 2:27 a.m., Jennifer McCabe is searching how long to die in the cold. She misspells how, it's H-O-S, but how
Where my
long
hose
to die in the
at?
cold.
So, according to the defense, if Jennifer McCabe is searching at 2:27 a.m. how long to die in cold,
that means that Karen Reed must be innocent.
Why would she Google search that if she didn't know that something was going on with John laying in that snow in that front yard? That means that this was a cover-up. John was murdered inside that house. His body was placed outside, and Jennifer McCabe knows that.
Neither the prosecution nor Jennifer McCabe ever denied that she searched for how long to die in cold. But they both say the defense has it all wrong. They say she didn't make that search at 2:27 a.m.
The prosecution brought in their own experts, and they said, no, the search wasn't at 2:27.
Jennifer McCabe said she made that search after 6 a.m. at the request of Karen Reed after they discovered John's body. Both sides say they have the expert data to back up their claims.
Jennifer McCabe says that John was not murdered by anyone inside the house. She says that she and the others inside the house had no idea he was outside in the snow, and she said that there was no cover-up.
This Google search is what really brought a lot of people into this case.
They never talk
to
about
support
Turtle Boy.
Karen Reed.
No.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. There's this public outcry of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer.
Me and my family and my attorneys and my team have marshaled every resource to get to the truth.
You are making allegations that there is cover-up.
This is an innocent woman.
Conspiracy.
And I do think she's been framed, and I'm not backing down till she gets free.
Corruption.
If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a duck.
Did you kill John McCabe?
Oh, man. Wow. If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, then it's a duck.
Then it's a duck. You know what? I was just thinking when you said that they haven't been talking about Turtle Boy, it's like they probably think they don't need to anymore, you know?
Yeah, but he's the guy that did it. You think they would just, give him some light, right?
Yeah.
I don't, they left that part out.
You would think so, but
they leave that part out. And so far, how are we feeling about that, people? How are we feeling so far about this? I mean, they're telling us everything we know. We'll segue back into the John O'Keefe stuff. I like all that. I like seeing the funeral and, seeing his sister, seeing more of him. And I like that because, the poor guy caught a bad one, so to speak. And I feel like still they're not getting to the truth, man. Like they didn't, like I seen someone in the chat say, Jen, how long to die in the cold, but they didn't mention how she deleted it.
right.
Like that's like what's going on? How you feeling so far, James, about this? Like, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? Like, we're talking on a casual fan. You're a casual fan. You never seen this before. You're not into this Karen Reed thing. It's your first time ever seeing it. How you feeling about it?
I mean, so far, I'm not convinced that it's a cut dry case, I think that's gonna keep a lot of other people out there thinking the same thing.
I mean, why ain't they playing this?
Right.
Like, I don't understand. Like, why ain't they playing this right here? If I can get this up.
I already know what you're thinking.
But things are moving slow.
The video, yeah, why ain't they playing that? Why ain't they talking about that even more?
Why ain't they playing this?
Yeah.
Right there. Right there. Chill out, Higgins. Chill out, bro. Chill. Nah, man. Forget that, man. Nah. What's up?
Right.
What's up?
Yeah,
You coming or
what'd you
what?
say? What'd you say?
Come on, come outside.
Come on.
Come outside.
Come say it out there.
Yeah, come on. I'm strong, man. I'm gonna get this dude, man. This dude has no idea.
And Brian,
Come on, let's go. Come on, tough guy. Come on.
Don't worry, we'll get him back at the house.
Come on, buddy. Let's go.
Yep, right here. Hold my keys, he said. Here, take the keys. He just passed him the keys.
Come on, I'll be outside. Here we go. We're gonna pan the camera. Here we go. We're gonna pan the camera, and there he is. Heel toe. Heel toe. It's on. It is on. Oh, there's the doggy. Chloe.
Jimmy,
why are we talking about that? Why are we talking about that, man? You need to hire us, Karen Reed. How much money they making off this? Can we get some bread off this? I mean, what's going on? I mean, what's up, man? We'll drive around with a truck with that video playing state to state. Because I
Yo,
don't.
for real.
I mean, what is this doing for you? It's running around in circles. Like I feel like you're talking in circles. I know what I've seen. You know what you've seen, right? Right, James?
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing. I mean, I think the truck's a great idea. Great big billboard. Show that video. Just have it keep running through.
I mean, isn't that what happened, people?
Keep recycling that
11:30,
video.
11:32. He texted her, right? He texted her, or whatever he said, right? You know, like, what's going on? Why are you with him?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
Karen, are you ready for today? The trial of Karen Reed is now underway. She's accused of killing her boyfriend, a Boston police officer.
When you say the name Karen Reed, you're going to get a visceral response from people.
They are protesting in favor of Karen Reed.
Who cheers for someone accused of murdering a police officer?
There's enough evidence to point that she's been framed.
You are making allegations that there is conspiracy, cover-up, corruption in this part of Massachusetts.
Oh, no, not
There
that.
is no conspiracy. There is no cover-up. There is no evidence of any.
Yeah, all right. There's no evidence.
You said, she heard you say,
All
I hate
right.
him, I hate him.
I just showed it to you.
With a question mark.
Here we go.
Supposedly
Yeah.
a murderer, having just killed her boyfriend. Why would she then call him 49 times after trying to find him?
Maybe she's actually being very clever.
I've never met someone that clever.
The
Tell
video you'll only see here.
I could be convicted, and this is the end of everything. So it just feels like a kind of purgatory.
John O'Keefe was murdered, no question. He died at the hands of another person. This wasn't Karen Reed.
All rise for the court, please.
It's getting good now, James. We going part 2? Is it? Oh, the perfect storm. All right. We going into what time is it?
It's been more
That's
than
gonna
a
be the
year
name of
since
the
Officer
movie
John
right
O'Keefe's
there, the perfect.
tragic death in the middle of a blizzard. Every pretrial hearing seems to result in new claims for followers to analyze and argue over. The prosecutors are clear. They argue Karen Reed killed John O'Keefe while driving under the influence. All the while, Karen Reed's defense seems to be gaining traction, at least in the court of public opinion.
There was this groundswell of support through every single court appearance.
There are dozens and dozens of people here. You can notice all the placards around. They are protesting in favor of Karen Reed, saying she is innocent. All of those placards reading justice for Karen.
Who shows up to a courthouse with signs at a pretrial motion, and who goes there to support a woman accused of murdering her boyfriend?
Believers.
This case was different.
I was shocked at what I pulled up to. They were cheering for Karen. They gave her like a hero's welcome. Karen, who was arrested not just for manslaughter, now second-degree murder, and they're cheering for her.
Oh, she's mad.
Yeah, she didn't like that.
These crowds are here in large part because of a local live streamer and blogger named Aiden Carney.
Oh, there
who
he
goes
is.
By the moniker
There he is.
Turtle Boy online.
What we know for damn sure, 100%, was she did not run him over.
Now, Carney is known for his sometimes confrontational and profanity-filled takes on local stories, and he takes up the case of Karen Reed, posting articles and live streams claiming Karen is the real victim in this case.
You aren't bleeding out of your mouth and your nose if you get bumped going slowly during a three-pointer.
All his followers were watching all of his streams, and from there sprung all of their theories about what happened here and who was really responsible.
And almost overnight, this goes viral locally.
It's at this point that I first sat down with Karen Reed to talk about what she claims happened that night. She absolutely refutes the prosecution's claims that receipts and security video shows she had up to 9 drinks that evening. When you walked out of the bar, how many drinks had you had?
I had probably about 4. And not 4 that I completed either. I didn't drink maybe more than a few sips at the waterfall.
And 4 drinks you felt fine to drive?
Yep.
Remember, the prosecution says her blood alcohol level the next morning, 9 hours later, was between 0.07 and 0.08. And Massachusetts, driving with a blood alcohol content higher than 0.08 is considered legally drunk.
I missed the turn. That would have been the most direct route.
Did you pull into the driveway?
No. I pulled at the foot of the driveway.
And do you and John have a conversation about what's going to happen?
I said, go check and let me know, and I'll follow you behind. So I pull at the foot of the driveway. It's snowing. John has no coat on. It's windy. So I drop him off. He goes up the driveway and approaches the side door. And as I see him approach the door, I look down at my phone. I hadn't been on my phone the entire night. I cue up a song to play on my Bluetooth, and I just start browsing through, missed text messages and a couple emails. And
Missed
I
text
probably waited about a
messages.
full minute, and I look back at the door. I would have expected him to be either walking back to me or calling me that, yeah, we're here.
Karen says after about 10 minutes of waiting in her car, she became irritated that John O'Keefe still hadn't gotten in touch with her. And so she decided to leave and drive back to his house. The prosecution says that John never made it into the Alberts home. Instead, they say this is when Karen hit John with her SUV. Did you kill John O'Keefe?
I did not kill John O'Keefe. I've never harmed a hair on John O'Keefe's head.
The Commonwealth says that you had 9 drinks that night. You claim it's 4 and change. I mean, is it possible that you had hit him with the back of your car and just didn't realize it?
No.
You had 4 drinks. They say 9 drinks. So how drunk were you?
I had felt like I had alcohol. I felt that I had a buzz. But I did not feel it was unsafe for me to be operating my vehicle.
Would you say that you were angry with John that night?
Yes.
About what, though?
Could you have been angry enough and slightly drunk because he had annoyed you that in the fit of rage you just backed up and
Never.
tried to tap him?
I would
Not
never
to try to kill him, but try to
tap him with my 6,000-pound full-size SUV. To hit John's body with my car. No.
There you go, girl. He was trying to trick her.
Yeah, he was.
But the prosecution is building a case that claims she was angry and she did have a motive. According to court filings, John's niece and nephew, who live with them, told law enforcement that their relationship was strained. The niece said she'd overheard John recently tell Karen that their relationship had run its course.
So
Is it
what?
possible that that anger sent you into a fit of rage, coupled with the fact that he apparently had wanted to break up or insinuated that?
He never insinuated that he wanted to break up. I have been angry with John. I was angry with him that night. But being angry with someone and being angry with them and wanting to physically hurt them with a 6,000 pound piece of machinery is another hemisphere of intention.
Early in the AM, when she first leaves John, Karen Reed is texting and
She's
sending
shaky.
message after message. I think she called like 50 times. No response.
John, I'm here with your
That's
kid.
not
You
someone that thinks they killed somebody.
loser. Pervert.
What's the prosecution's theory on this? That supposedly a murderer, having just killed her boyfriend, and calls him up and says, I hate you. Why would she then call him 49 times after that, trying to find him?
Maybe she's actually being very clever.
I've never met someone that clever. This is Occam's razor. The simplest answer is usually the right one.
The prosecution says Occam's razor is she backed up, she hit this guy, he died in the snow.
End of story. No.
There has been nothing as divisive as this case.
Your uncle
The
ain't playing
district
games, huh,
attorney
James?
of this county had
Uncle Al don't fuck
say yes
around, bro.
witnesses.
He don't play no games.
Chasing us, calling us names, bullying at us, calling us cop killers.
We had state police protection to get us to the car. We were surrounded.
Jeff's loving this, huh? Jeff, you're
Oh,
loving it, huh? You're
Jeff,
loving it.
Jeffrey, you're still here, my man. What did I say to you, Jeff? I said stick around.
Jeffrey, what's going on, buddy?
You see,
Jeff, is that you? Jeff, what do you look like?
Yeah, I
Do you
would
got a
love.
badge? You got a badge right here?
He got a security badge. This is about the only badge he has.
Yeah, he's
Security badge.
he's loss prevention at Target.
Jeffrey B's on the back.
Jeff, did you bust anybody at Target today for stealing some jockey underwear?
Jeff, did you leave work or did you call in sick so you could watch this, Jeff? Because I know you love watching J.F.K. and I.
Jeff, did you catch anybody stealing iPhone chargers tonight? Jeff, come on, Jeff.
Jeff,
Jeffrey.
yeah. Jeff
Jeff's
could
real.
be Jen.
Oh, it could be it. Oh, wow.
That's crazy. Jen, is that
It's
you?
Jen.
What you doing, girl?
Wow. So how are we feeling about this? Does this do anything? Is this shedding any insight? I mean, what about this, Jeff? Like, what about this right here?
Caveman. Wait a second.
What about this?
I drove to 34th Fairview.
What about this?
Get out and got him donuts. 6 donuts. I've been doing it for years.
She likes to come by and bring like coffee and donuts.
I opened my car door.
Jeff, what type of donuts do you like?
Oh, believe it or not, Jeff, he stuck around, so
I drove to 34th Fairview.
I'm giving him that.
I saw her get out and got him donuts. 6 donuts. I've been doing it for years.
She likes to come by and bring like coffee and donuts.
I opened my car.
You know,
I mean,
it's
can we
funny.
talk about the donuts? Can we talk about how, they came by in a blizzard and Julie didn't care it was a blizzard? We just heard the beginning of this. They were talking about the blizzard of 2022.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But Julie went right through the blizzard, got the donuts, opened up a car door, shoveled
she
the way
plowed
out.
right through it. Yeah,
She opened up
didn't
the
get
car door. She put the donuts in the car. And as she was walking away, hey, Julie, by the way, Julie, I want to tell you something. John was found dead on the lawn about an hour ago. I thought you might want to know. And I don't know how you got in the car because it was locked and it's filled with snow. But, oh, by the way.
You know, it's crazy, man.
But
Some
are we
of these,
talking about that? So I got to keep throwing them inserts in there to let guys like Jeff know. Because, I said this last night on the live. I said that no matter what, 2020 is going to lean this towards, they're neutral, but they're going to lean it more towards the guilty verdict. That's just the way it goes.
Jeff said, listen to the reporter. You will learn more. Which report is that, Jeff?
Jeff, you wrote a police report tonight for some guy stealing iPhone chargers, all right? You put a dude in handcuffs for stealing iPhone chargers.
That's the
You work for
report.
loss prevention.
Pack
Come on,
it up, Jeff. Jeff's cool, man. Jeff's been in here since we started. Jeff wants to act like he's a troll and he doesn't like us, but he loves us.
Jeff, it's okay that you think that she's guilty, but I'm just asking you, what about the donut story? You don't think, Jeff, that's the most corniest story in the world? I mean, come on.
Right.
She came through, ironically that morning. Oh, man. She came through that morning to bring donuts, but she wasn't going there at all to get the story straight because her son smashed the dude with a brick. But that's another story, right? All right, let's get to it, people. Mic check to the gods. Mic check to the gods.
There has been nothing as divisive as this case.
Any idiot knows that Karen Reed is innocent.
The O'Keefe family is appalled and outraged by
That's
the
you,
public
Jeff.
accusations, protests, and harassment of people closest to John and his family.
I think where you see it is at the town meetings. When they get those open mic moments, you'll hear it, and you'll hear it from both sides here. But there's a faction of that community that no longer trusts their police and their government.
There are people that
They
I know
never
that
did.
cease
Vinny.
relationships with others because they disagree.
All the while, local blogger Aiden Carney, known as Turtle Boy, continues to stir up debate over the case. On his
All right, Jeff.
website,
We'll
he
see you on the
goes
next
over
live.
himself confronting prosecution witnesses.
See
in
you on the
public.
next live,
He
Jeff.
organizes what he calls a rolling rally,
Right.
going from one witness's home to the next. Aiden Carney
see you, Jeff.
See you in the
charged
next one.
himself
We'll see you in the next
multiple counts of
commercial.
Witness intimidation, picketing a witness, and
For
conspiracy
real.
to intimidate witnesses. Charges he denies and has pleaded not guilty to.
They're
He
giving
claims
him
his
some
behavior should be
shine.
protected
Turtle Boy, huh?
by the First Amendment as a journalist. Those charges are still pending. Later, he's also barred from the courtroom during Reed's trial when certain witnesses named in the case against him testify.
One of the most unusual things about this case is there's such a fervor among, on this online movement that the district attorney of this county had to come out and say the witnesses in this case have done nothing wrong. The harassment of them has to stop.
What's happening to the witnesses, some with no actual involvement in the case, is wrong. It's contrary to the American values of fairness and the constitutional value of a fair
Look
trial.
at this guy.
It needs to stop now.
Alan Jackson.
We ain't stopping nothing, buddy, all right?
For Karen and their case.
Type of donuts does he like?
Yeah, he likes too many donuts.
Issue this statement and give
All
you
my
a threat
donuts.
and give us a threat. He wants us to just shut up and quit. He wants you to shut up and quit. Just go home and quit.
Look at this.
Well, I
Look
have
at this
something
one.
to say directly to Mr. Morrissey right here, right now. So listen up, sir. And I'll speak slowly so you understand. Michael Morrissey, we ain't got no quit.
Woo!
Uncle Al fucking him up. He said he likes too many.
But beyond
Oh,
prosecution witnesses with authorities
Jeff
being
Williams said,
harassed,
I know when
John
I'm not
O'Keefe's
wanted.
own family and friends say
Jeff,
their
I already
stunt when
told you,
defense
stop
supporting crowds
crying,
begin
man.
directing anger towards them
You
as well.
wanted here, man. Stick around. Stop running
That were discussing
crazy in the
that they're
chat.
defending the real murderers.
Laugh
I
with
think
us,
at
man.
times they said that we've been brainwashed.
Missing out.
Brainwashed by who? I didn't know any of the people that were being blindly accused of committing this crime.
We're leaving the courthouse and they follow us. And we had state police protection to get us to the car. We all got into the car safely, but we were surrounded. And I remember this woman putting her face up to the window of where I was sitting, and she was screaming, "Cop killer," at me. I've never heard of such a thing in my life. We thought, okay, they're gonna call us names, they boo us, okay, but they're not gonna boo John's family, right? Then they did.
It was getting crazy. Chasing us, calling us names,
Booing at us,
calling us cop killers.
It must have created a lot of anger.
Yep.
That sounded like a
When
harmony.
you walked in, like,
Bullying
anxiety, I
us.
was, we were shaking
broke
going
down.
in because it was just
Every time we went in, yeah.
But then after like maybe the fourth time, we were just like, all right, let's just hold our head up high and walk through this with Johnny.
Right.
Hold your head up high and do what we have to do as a family.
I think everyone should be in agreement that you don't deserve this treatment.
Yeah, I don't believe in that either.
With the
They
trial
shouldn't
just
be.
days away, Karen is prepping with her lawyers.
This is no life. Like this, I'm not in prison, but this is no life. I'm stressed every day. I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop.
No, they shouldn't.
This is
I
our
agree.
night.
Her family shouldn't have to go through this. I agree. Sorry, I'm trying to find your name.
Nah, the family shouldn't have went through that. No, not at all.
I don't think they should have to go through that, but you know, unfortunately, to get heard, sometimes people have to say certain things, and I think Turtle Boy, speaking the way he is and the way you know, sometimes he can go off and say things I just think he shouldn't say. That's his thing. That's just not my thing. But
No,
I don't think he belongs in jail.
no one was booing John's family. Come on, guys, you know better. I mean, I think they sunk a lot of boos in there on that. That was like they sunk that in there.
Yeah.
You know, that was a sunken track. I don't think it was that crazy, James. 2490, Justice for John O'Keefe, 2490. I like that, buddy. I like that. Thanks for streaming, Jay. Absolutely. I like that, Sherry D. That's awesome. 2490. 2490, man. Absolutely. You know. And it just you just gotta think, this is the same guy, um, that this guy, Brian
Nobody. I'm
Brian
sorry.
out Brian Albert says that you know Brian A says that he's not a boxer. He says he doesn't know nothing about boxing. Now
Proctor
look at
In
this.
says
check,
he.
and will stop making decisions for you. And
You
that's
tell me.
exactly what happened to Big Bad Brian A. See, he got on Boston's finest. He got with Donnie Wahlberg.
Looks like he's a boxer to
Sergeant
me.
Albert cut his teeth as a Marine in Operation Desert Storm. He views his work back in Boston as
James is doing. Look at this guy. Yeah, okay. No, I don't do drugs.
The Funky Bunch has a group
This
chat.
clown.
None of you guys once said, I can't believe how John died. I can't believe he died in the cold. That's tragic. None of you guys were texting that on the group chat. Or I can't believe Karen would do such a thing. None of you guys are saying that. The only thing you guys are talking about is the cover-up. Don't say he came in the house.
And let's talk about that. All the
Hold
people
up.
that are saying it
Everybody.
don't matter what anybody's saying about anything negative about us. It don't even
I
matter.
know. I
We got
get it.
1,000 people. We got 1,000 people up in here, 1,100 people. There was a group chat, right? Can we all agree there was a group chat? In that group chat, they never once said poor John O'Keefe. We just seen the funeral. We just seen the guy die in the cold. We know that his sister died of cancer. We know 2 months later, her husband died. You know, that never once did they ever say in a group chat, wow, I can't believe we missed him on the lawn. I can't believe that this happened. No, they were too busy saying the guy didn't come in the house. They were too busy saying, I'll get you a picture. And here's another quick note to anybody out there that's trolling saying she's guilty. Why are none of these people? Where's Jen McCabe? I don't see her on this. I don't see her on any platform. I don't see Brian A. and I don't see Brian Higgins talking on any of these platforms at all. So there you have it with that, um
Yeah, no, I
I don't
agree
know what
with
I'm saying.
you, JFK, on that. The chat is lit tonight. 1.1. 1,100 in the chat.
Yeah.
At the Alamo, just constantly looking out the window. I mean, 3 times in 2 years, I've had the state police come in. And 2 of those 3 times they've arrested me. 3 of the 3, they've taken my cell phone. Once your sanctuary's been breached, you can't relax there. This is no life. Like this, I'm not in prison, but this is no life. I'm stressed every day. I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop. I can't live like this. I mean, I will. I just really don't want to, is what I should say. But hiding out like this, you just watch the world pass you by, and you're going through the motions, pun intended, and but it could all end. I could be convicted, and this is the end of everything. So it just feels like a kind of purgatory.
I've prepared for every scenario. That's just
I love
how
you
I have
back,
to live.
Tanya. Thank
So
you.
I've thought through everything. I've thought through where will I celebrate when this is over? Where do I want to live? Who do I want to surround myself with? But I've also thought, all right, if I'm convicted, what are the next steps? Got all my court clothes. Nothing fun. Nothing for a trip, but just lots of suits. I just want to communicate that I'm still confident. I don't like the position I'm in, but I'm confident. I'm doing everything I can, and that includes looking professional for court, dressing like my attorneys. I think that's the sign of respect for what's happening when you're in court. I just got the suit from the tailor because the sleeves are too long, and it's a pet peeve of my mother's to see people with sleeves that are too long.
Do you think about your mother when you get dressed?
Yes, all the time. That's funny to tell me that. She yeah, she probably taught me how to dress and tells me how to dress, and not in a way that mothers may nag their daughters, but I've never seen my mother ever in my whole life. And she doesn't compliment me and tell me I look nice.
Mm.
I don't know if she knows that I'm aware of that. That even when I've been in the thick of this, even getting out of jail, you know, she's always saying something positive to me as soon as I see her. It's funny you asked me that. I didn't even realize that. I think about her whenever I get dressed. I do, because I'm thinking she's going to see me. And I don't usually cry. I guess if you ask about my parents, I will. I can't even talk about them.
See, that's why I said that could be a special thing with them.
Was there a concern, Renee, that amidst all of the noise of this, that John was being lost?
He was lost in this whole circus. I think that's the saddest part of this whole situation, that he's not remembered as who he is and who he was during the whole thing. And I think that might be one of my favorite pictures, because he was always the light in this family. He was always the sun, like...
Oh, the photobombing. So that picture there, he would photobomb every picture. There's a lot of pictures of Angie's birthday party.
My surprise 40th, he's literally in every background of every photobombing.
And there were small treasured moments at home with the kids, like dancing with his niece to California Girls by Katy Perry.
Oh, man.
And his badge number is 2490. So I have his badge number on my necklace. We have stickers that we put on our phones. We have stickers on the car.
Renee and I both got tattoos with this badge number.
Nice.
2490 was Johnny's badge number, and that's become the numerical symbol of finding justice for him.
Justice for JJ! Justice for JJ!
You know, we all have one goal.
All eyes will be on this courthouse in Denver.
There are a lot of people who believe fervently in the innocence of Karen Reed and believe that she is the victim of a mass conspiracy.
But will the jury believe the prosecutors who claim that Karen Reed killed John?
We love you, Karen!
Today, let's paint with Bear, America's most...
We know what happened now. I see
It's
that we
getting
got
good.
some. Yeah, it's getting good. I see we got some scumbags in the chat running their mouth.
Yeah, we're gonna have 'em, man. I mean, I guess with, a lot of people like we have tonight, you're gonna get
Thank you,
more.
Kirsten. Kirsten, $10. Love my hoodie. Read between the lines, and that's what it's all about. The song, excuse me, was from John O's perspective. Laying there, laying on the grass, he can hear the snakes, and just when I wrote that song, it was tough to write because it was like there's so many different moving pieces, but I figured I'll just do it from John's perspective. And yeah, it's tough because who knows what he was thinking when he was laying on that grass, you know what I mean? Like, damn, how'd I get here, right?
Yeah,
And
'cause
I wanted to make a song that was something that would age well, not just with this Karen Reed thing, but storytelling, because hip hop is, it lacked storytelling. So I wanted to add that element back in storytelling. And at the end of the day, shed awareness and a good song at the end of the day, you know. So thank you for that. Thank you for grabbing that hoodie. And you know, anybody want to grab a hoodie, and I'm sure the trolls in here will be like, look, he's trying to sell hoodies. But if anybody wants to grab a hoodie, you know, with some official read between the lines of the song, the whole video, and you know, the whole passion that goes behind this, because I just want to know what happened. Um, and
It's
that's what it comes.
writing at the end of the day. It's a great song, JFK. You know, the writing behind it. So it's not you're not just buying a hoodie to buy a hoodie. You're
No,
buying a
you're
hoodie.
doing it to document times,
Yeah, it's
and
a
and the
documentary.
release, and you know, the song's free. It's on all the streaming sites. You could take it and, you know, listen to it all day long for free. So the hoodie just helps out the artist for the creative process. You know, to stream like this, internet, to come up with graphics, come up with ideas, to be here tonight. You know, all that. You know, it all, every time is money, no matter how you look at it. You know, and but you know, in the end, what this is all about is about me just, you know, doing a narration of this story and giving you different angles of what I see on the level of the court system that I've been involved in, and how dirty the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is, and how people will take this, you know, spin everything. And you see what's happening to Karen. We talked about that last night on the live, right? How it can break you down. It's like you're drowned and you can't breathe. And the last clip we just seen of her crying, that showed that, right, James?
Yeah, I would say 100% it showed it. I mean, you saw somebody that got in her feelings, got in her emotions, and I think those were her true feelings, true emotions. I don't think those were, you know, those weren't scripted or anything. That was real. That was real what we just saw. So yeah,
No,
I
that was
like that.
100% real.
Yep.
You know, and that's what an open case will do to you, being indicted and being locked up. And you got to understand, people are pushing and pulling her, telling her to do these things. She doesn't know what else to do. She's a square. People out there painting the narrative that she created this conspiracy and she's a criminal, and she had this is all a big plot, and she's that smart to
Yeah.
do it. She's not a criminal.
No,
And
there's
you
no
know,
way.
she would have slipped up. You know, she would have got rid of her phone, right? She never got rid of her phone. And like I said, all these people on the group chats and all the kids calling, and the McCabe kid, none of them are going on social media speaking of this. And then that night it was a big blizzard, right? I'm from Massachusetts, and I was there for that 2020 blizzard. I know for a fact, if a blizzard's coming in late night, you're going to be looking out the window to see about the snow.
Yep.
Who look right? So no one looked out the window to see what was going on with the snow. I find that hard to believe, right?
Plus, there's people coming home from all different nights
This
of
is a
shifts.
case that is all over the news.
The trial of Karen Reed is now underway. She's accused of killing her boyfriend, a Boston police officer.
A story unlike one I've ever seen that has many layers to it. Billboards, trucks, people with signs, people chanting, bullhorns on the courthouse steps. This just doesn't happen in normal cases. And this case was anything but normal.
Opening statements are set to begin today. This has all the elements of a made-for-TV movie, except this is real life.
Karen, are you ready for today?
After 15 months of waiting, it's time for triumph.
We love you, Karen!
Karen Reed arrives looking polished and conservative, flanked by her defense team.
There are a lot of people who believe fervently in the innocence of Karen Reed and believe that she is the victim of a mass conspiracy.
It took 2 weeks to find and seat a jury. Now all eyes will be on this courthouse in Dedham.
But others buy into the prosecution's much simpler narrative that Karen Reed had been drinking and later struck and killed John O'Keefe with an SUV.
12 jurors and 5 alternates have been selected to decide Reed's fate. The courtroom is, in a word, cramped.
When you get into the courtroom and you're physically situated, it was shocking how close you were to the defense table. I think it could be described as borderline claustrophobic.
It's time for opening statements.
Big difference between the prosecution and defense in this case. I mean, Alan Jackson, a seasoned former prosecutor, but what he really is a great storyteller. Much different than Adam Lally.
The defendant, Karen Reed, is guilty of murder in the second degree, striking the victim, Mr. O'Keefe, with a car.
In opening statements, prosecutors attempt to use Reed's own words against her.
They had asked about the origination of some of those injuries. The defendant stated repeatedly, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
The defense counters by claiming Reed wasn't making a statement, she was asking a question.
Did I hit him? Could I have hit him? That was what she was saying, both to herself and to other people.
Co-counsel David Yannetti lays out the defense's controversial theory that someone else killed John O'Keefe.
Karen Reed was framed. Her car never struck John O'Keefe. She did not cause his death. And that means that somebody else did.
The prosecution presents multiple witnesses to speak about the night O'Keefe was killed.
You know about what time it was that Mr. O'Keefe and the defendant came into the waterfall?
It would have been, I think, between like 11 and closing.
And the invitation to go back to Brian Albert's house, was that something that was extended to the entirety of the table?
I took it as an open invitation to the people that were together at the table, yes.
John never came into my house that night. He would have been welcomed, and the defendant would have been welcomed with open arms had they come in, and I wish they had. I really do.
Your next witness, Mr. Lally?
Yes, Your Honor. The Commonwealth will call Ms. Nicole Albert to the stand.
Wow.
Did either of those people come into your house?
No, they never came into my home.
Commonwealth will call Jennifer McCabe to the stand.
I woken up to my phone ringing.
And do you know what time it was?
4:53.
Does the defendant get on the phone with you?
She does. She proceeds to scream my name multiple times, and she tells me that John didn't come home. They got into a fight. After that, the three of us got in the car and we drove to Fairview.
It was really bad driving. Karen was frantic. She wouldn't put her seatbelt on, and I was getting nervous because we're driving in a blizzard.
And all of a sudden, Karen starts screaming, there he is, and she's banging to get out.
Karen was laying on top of him, and I told her to get off him because I was going to do CPR. And I said, Jen, you need to call 911.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth will call Mr. Anthony Flamati to the stand.
So the only response that I was personally given was just, I hit him. Oh my God, I hit him.
Firefighter Flamati put a 10% chance of survival for Mr. O'Keefe.
Miss Reed was visibly upset. She kept saying, this is all my fault. This is my fault. I did this.
The defense questioned Saraf about his memory.
Yesterday you said, my client said, quote, it's all my fault. I did this.
Yes.
Remember that? Is that yes?
Yes, sir.
But you didn't say that at the grand jury.
No.
And you didn't say that to Trooper Proctor.
No, sir.
And you didn't put it in your report.
That's correct.
So you would wonder what was her motive if she did kill him for murdering her boyfriend.
The prosecution has an answer to Karen Reed's motive. They paint a picture of that rocky relationship between John O'Keefe and Karen Reed. They say there were fits of jealousy, there were arguments, allegations of cheating, and they say that set the stage for murder. Did he tell you, or did you begin to notice that it was maybe nearing an end?
After Aruba.
After Aruba.
She thought he kissed somebody and he did not. He hugged somebody and she had a scene.
Just a month before his death, O'Keefe, Reed, and many of his friends and family went on a tropical vacation. But according to Marietta Sullivan, the quiet paradise soon got real loud.
She was just very loud. She very, energetically screamed for me to go myself. Johnny was trying to calm her down.
Sullivan says she incurred the wrath of Reed for an innocent hug with O'Keefe in the hotel lobby.
This was my first interaction with her. I had never been fully introduced to her at all.
The Aruba incident by itself could be chalked up to having a bad day, but the prosecution will attempt to show a pattern of Reed's behavior by playing those volatile voicemails to the jury.
John, I hate you. I'm here with your kid. You are using me right now. You're a loser. Pervert.
The prosecution painting a picture about the level of rage Miss Reed could have been capable of on the night in question.
But outside the courthouse, support is growing for Reed.
We love you, Karen. You're actually innocent woman walking.
I've covered a lot of cases at Court TV. sometimes involving celebrities, sometimes involving public enemies. But in this case, it was different. This was a college professor who shows up at the courthouse, and there's an absolute sea of pink there to support her.
The pink in the crowd is a show of solidarity with Reed and her favorite color.
There's enough evidence to point that she's been framed.
Back inside, lead counsel for the defense, Alan Jackson, is arguing a much different story than the prosecutors. You are making allegations that there is conspiracy, cover-up, corruption in this part of Massachusetts. Are you willing to stake your career and your legacy on this case?
100%.
Woo.
Because I know that the truth is on our side. She didn't do this.
Describe sort of what you observed from this particular item.
That's a piece of red and clear apparent plastic.
While both sides agree those taillight pieces found by investigators are from Reed's SUV, they disagree on how the pieces wound up at the scene.
The defense argued that Karen Reed's taillight was broken someplace else, and the pieces of the taillight were returned to the scene and planted by investigating officers. The fundamental problem with this argument from the defense is that the prosecution had pretty much every single piece, and they reassembled it in the trial for the jury to see that every piece of the taillight was actually at the scene.
As far as the items and where they were when they were located by members of your team, they were photographed as they lay, is that correct?
Correct, sir. As they were discovered, they were photographed.
Here's the most shocking thing about this entire case is that there's no eyewitness. And that night, remember, you've got people inside the house. You've got people showing up. You've got people coming to pick people up. And no one sees what happens to John O'Keefe.
But with gavel-to-gavel coverage, everyone
Crazy.
sees what happens to Karen Reed, including her scolding from the judge.
Excuse me, this is funny, Ms. Reed? All right, we're done.
All rise for the court, please.
We're done here. We're done here, Miss Reed. We're done.
And you know that's how they go to commercial. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're doing. I mean, once again, though, I don't hear nothing about the Higgins. I don't hear nothing about how they brought the donuts. I don't hear nothing about how they was cleaning all night or how they erased phone calls. I'm sure they're gonna get into it now. They're gonna wrap it up, and they're gonna have to put some of that in there. I would assume. But how are we feeling about this so far, people? Is this as a casual fan, not as someone who's on the side of free Karen Reed, or someone who's not on the side of someone who thinks Karen Reed is guilty? Just as a casual fan who stumbled upon this tonight, that was like, hey, I'm gonna figure out this case once and for all. I've been seeing it. What do you believe? Do you believe that this helps her or this doesn't help her? What do you believe? How are we feeling? Yeah.
Yeah.
They need 10 episodes to cover that. They do. They do.
This got Jeff talking about the tail light. I can't see it. The chat's moving so fast. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah. Jeff.
Yeah, no difference, Jeff. Exactly. For you. Yeah, Jeff is still here. I told you guys.
I thought Jeff was
ain't
leaving.
going. Jeff ain't going nowhere. He ain't got shit to do.
I mean,
He's
we gotta
sitting in
talk.
front of cameras, tail light. Yes. Yes, Jeff, we know, but what about it? What about the tail light?
Right.
God damn it. Jeff's still here. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Talking about, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten.
Go out. It's gonna be in the comments in this live. Go out, check out Snake Bitten, Read Between the Lines, J.F.K, Read Between the Lines. It's on all streaming apps. It's on my YouTube. Check that out. Check the video out.
Life keeps going by, please tell me why am I living? Poison in my mind, losing sight now with this blind vision. I don't know what it is, but but I feel like I've been snake bitten.
Call 911, officer down, don't make a sound, there's an officer in the house. All I can feel is my phone vibrate. Wish you was here, not sitting at my place. Who let the dogs out? Someone closed the gate. It's cold where the broken face, please Lord, not today. Laying on this grass, I can hear the snakes. Wish you would've told me he was feeling away when he sent you that text. Seen the fear in your face, then he texted me too. Coming here, then you drove away.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten. Life keeps going by, please tell me why am I living? Poison in my mind, losing sight now with this blind vision. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten.
Definitely.
I saw somebody ask last time you played it, was that you singing it? You see that? And I said that to you the first when we were talking about.
Nah, I wrote the hook. I did a little backup behind it. I wrote the hook though. My man Hale is singing the main vocals. Hale Supreme out of Brooklyn, New York. You could check him out. Hale Supreme. But yeah. Check that out. J.F.K, Read Between the Lines, Snake Bitten, all platforms. Check that out if you want to throw it up on your playlist. It's on my YouTube. Sub up today. If you didn't sub up or hit the like button, make sure you do now. We got 1,100 people up in there. James Jackson. I need you to go to James Jackson's page. Need you to sub up to him.
Find me right here.
Yeah. Let's do that, man.
He showed you. Judge wasn't happy with it.
Excuse me, this is funny, Ms. Reed? All right, we're done.
All rise to the court, please.
Her attitude is smug. She's the happiest murder defendant in America.
Reed is seen, but will she be heard?
If I had to guess it, I'd say she's not going anywhere near the witness stand.
For now, Alan Jackson is doing all the talking.
She will be
Uncle Al.
She'll never be convicted.
And the defense believes Karen Reed will be found not guilty after this man starts talking.
Trooper Michael Proctor, PRO-CTOR.
Trooper Proctor is the lead investigator on the Karen Reed case, but in a dramatic twist, there's a separate investigation going on that may impact this trial.
It turns out there's talk of a federal investigation of the Reed case. The U.S.
Just
Attorney's Office won't
famous.
comment, but lawyers on both sides of the Reed trial have mentioned it in court.
Crazy.
What has surfaced is that Michael Proctor was found to be sending derogatory text messages about Reed from his personal cell phone to his friends and superiors during his investigation.
That guy's going
Once
in on Jeff.
Trooper Proctor took the stand, that's when everything changed here.
If you could just read the responses from yourself, sir.
Okay, so these came from me. She's a whack job.
Wow, she's a whack job.
So these are your words, Trooper Proctor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead and say them.
Yeah, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No ass.
Why would I believe this guy? He's completely eviscerated on the stand.
The prosecutor, Adam Lally,
It's your
does the
boy,
best he
Vinny.
can to deal with Proctor's damning texts. Insisting that the prosecution's case is still solid, while also trying to rehab Proctor's reputation on the stand.
What, if any, impact did that have as far as your investigation was concerned regarding this?
These juvenile, unprofessional comments have zero impact on the facts and the evidence.
Yeah, all right,
and the
buddy.
integrity of this
Yeah, don't blame that
investigation.
on
The
DYS
defense
kids.
disagrees, basically alleging bias against Reed by Proctor was clear.
You weren't so much as objectively investigating her as objectifying her in those moments, correct?
Again, Mr. Jackson, it was a poor choice of words and a joke that I should not have texted out.
Proctor was officially suspended without pay. The Massachusetts State Police telling ABC News their internal investigation is ongoing.
And inside that courthouse, Jackson reminds jurors of the way that the Canton Police Department collected blood evidence at the scene.
We utilized cups, plastic cups.
Those were red Solo cups, right? That's correct. The same kind of red Solo cup you drink beer out of at a barbecue?
Yeah, sure
Imagine that, J.F.K.
Sure,
The
you
defense
could.
also notes the unusual manner in which the evidence was
Sure, you
transported.
could.
Wow.
You see a bag in the middle of the photograph? Yes.
Yeah.
Can you read what's on that bag?
Stop and shop.
Okay, it does not look like an evidence bag, does it, sir?
No.
Matter of fact, it looks like a grocery bag.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes.
They may
He's like,
have done the
yes.
best they could, but visually, this is not a good look for the police department.
You
The
think?
defense pointed out that that does not conform to protocol. And the prosecution's response to that was basically, who cares? It doesn't impact the forensic integrity of the evidence.
The defense also disputes the prosecution's theory that those jagged wounds on O'Keefe's arm were a result of being hit by Reed's car.
How did those injuries occur? Is this something from the undercarriage of the vehicle?
No.
Is this because he rolled over glass? What exactly occurred? And the problem is they've never addressed it.
Call Jennifer McCabe to the stand.
And then there's that Google search by Jennifer McCabe, who was with Reed when O'Keefe's body was discovered.
Karen was screaming. My hands were shaking, and she was saying, Google hypothermia. How long does it take to die in the cold?
The
Yeah,
prosecution
Maddie
claims
could be
the
the
search took
first
place
break.
at 6:23 a.m. The defense says it was made at 2:27 a.m.
Gotta
long
listen to
before
this one
O'Keefe's
every
body
day.
was discovered. According to Alan Jackson, that means the witness knows more than she's letting on, something prosecutors and Jennifer McCabe vehemently deny.
And you never made any search like that at 2:27 in the morning, correct?
I did not know.
Did you delete that search because you knew that you would be implicated in John O'Keefe's death if that search was found on your phone?
Objection.
Could you answer that, please? I did not delete that search. I never made that search. I never would have left John O'Keefe out in the cold to die because he was my friend that I loved.
He didn't ask you all that
two
extra
competing
shit.
versions of what happened.
After 8 weeks of testimony, the case is about to go to the jury.
And up to the jury to figure out what they believe the truth was. Everyone's presumed innocent, but someone isn't. When do we get to the answer to that most important question?
Oh.
Oh, you know what I would like to ask for the women out there? How many of you women go out with your girlfriends now and think you might have a Jen McCabe in your circle? Or, you know, I was thinking about that earlier. How many, you know, there's always one.
It's crazy, man. It's a crazy story. Chat's going crazy. Everybody's on fire.
Yeah, they are.
Everybody's on fire, you know, and
Well, that's what we need. That's we want them to all be involved, and as they are, I mean, I guess they're on fire going in on Jeff too, but he's still here, like I knew he'd be.
O'Keefe between 12:29 and 12:50 that night.
I believe I used the word butt dials.
How many butt dials?
You claimed that every one of these calls was a butt dial. Is that right?
Yes.
she claimed every call. She you know, what you got to understand is, you know, I said this in my last video at 12:29. She said, "Pull behind me." No, 12:29. She made a phone call to John O'Keefe that allegedly that he didn't pick up, and it was for 8 seconds, right? And then at 12:31, she said, "Pull behind me," and then she didn't talk to him again until 12:40. Well, she didn't text him again until 12:40. So 9 minutes went by, and in between that time, Karen Reed was connected to the internet at 12:36.
Yeah.
So, you know, 9 minutes
6
went by.
minutes later or something.
No,
8 minutes
9.
later.
No, 9.
Oh,
6
9
minutes to get to 6 minutes to get to One Meadows Ave for
Right.
Karen.
Okay.
But 9 minutes. It was 9
Took a
minutes. No, it was 9 minutes, bro. That Jennifer McCabe. She talked to him. She texted him at 12:31. Pull behind me. She didn't. She looked out the window at 12:40, and she texted him again. And then she made a couple of phone calls to him. And then, so for 9 minutes, she didn't know what happened. She went back inside the party. So another SUV could have pulled up. So when she looked out the window at 12:45 and said hello, and she seen an SUV drive away, was that even Karen's SUV? Was it somebody else's SUV? Because for 9 minutes, you didn't know what happened. You was inside the party saying it's raining man.
Well, that's like they talk about the you know, it had to be precise time that she backed up and hit Officer O'Keefe. Well, it could be precise time that another SUV pulled up as she was pulling away. So
Yeah, you just never know, right?
it's very possible.
Mm-hmm. It's people don't, and she did all these butt dials, and allegedly, she deleted all these phone calls to him. She said that Karen called her up blacked out and said that she didn't know where he was, and then she agreed with him on the first initial phone call. On the testimony, Jen McCabe agreed and said, "Oh, really? You don't know where he is? Maybe he's back down the waterfall." Now, why would she say that if she's seen him at the house, in front of the house, like she says she? Why would she agree with him?
Look the other way.
And say, call Julie.
Look the other way. 4 words that sum up the Commonwealth's entire case. 4 words that sum up the hopes of those who have tried to deceive you.
The prosecution says there's no evidence of any of this.
Prosecutor Lally's closing statement mirrors his opening statement. Simply put, Karen Reed did it, and she told people she did it.
I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Those are the words of the defendant. 4 times. We heard testimony from 4 different witnesses who overheard and observed those statements from the defendant on January 29th, 2022.
To me, that's an enormous moment for the prosecution because you have someone who's not connected to the investigation saying that she confessed.
Thank
you. The problems that the prosecution had is that there were some problems with some of their witnesses.
Yeah.
Most notably, their lead investigator.
Oh, the cop.
Big problem.
Well, how about the cop
The
who didn't
defense
come
makes sure to
outside?
remind the jury of the name Michael Proctor. Alan Jackson will reference him 33 times.
And woe betide anyone who might find ourselves in the crosshairs of a Michael Proctor.
Lally says Proctor's name only 3 times.
There is no conspiracy. There is no cover-up. There is no evidence of any of that. 2 things can be true at the same time. The text from Trooper Proctor are distasteful. There's no defense to them. And the defendant killed John O'Keefe.
When you start talking about a conspiracy and try to tell a jury that it's impossible for this to happen, and your lead investigator has serious issues, it makes you stop and say, well, wait a minute.
Even folks that love a good conspiracy story know if there's more than one person involved, somebody winds up talking.
All right, jurors.
Judge Cannoni gives her
Maddie M on
instructions
the
to the jury.
backup.
You'll soon deliberate for the purposes of reaching a verdict in this case.
It's hard to explain the feeling as the jury was deliberating. It wavered between dread and hopefulness.
I could see a juror getting caught up on it saying, listen, I think she confessed, but I also think he could have framed her. All the doubt hasn't been erased that that's a possibility. So if it's just a possibility, that's reasonable doubt.
After 5 days of deliberations, the jury informs the judge they're deadlocked.
The jury telling the judge for a third and final time they were unable to reach a consensus.
Your service is complete. I'm declaring a mistrial in this case.
So I think we were all waiting for it to be finally over so we can finally grieve.
I mean, that could be another 18 months.
It could be another 5 years.
And we're gonna
be there. Yeah,
Sure could.
absolutely.
Reed's legal troubles are now stacking up. She faces a second criminal trial.
In addition to a retrial, the O'Keefe family has also filed a wrongful death civil suit against Reed and the Waterfall and C.F. McCarthy bars. The suit alleges they overserved Reed on that snowy January night. Reed's legal team and the 2 bars had no comment. For now, both sides are preparing for the next criminal court date. But Reed, she's got no intention of staying quiet. This week, she met with supporters in Massachusetts who held rallies across the state. And organizers say those
This is
rallies
recent.
extend as far south
Yeah,
as Florida.
they threw this in.
Reed says she would like
Must
to
be
meet
coming to
all
an
of her
end.
supporters.
So at this point, as we sit now after the mistrial, we are sitting at halftime. And we have got a second half to let play out. And we hope that that will end up with a conviction.
Why are you so mad,
Karen Reed's retrial is scheduled for early next year.
And by the way, John O'Keefe's family and friends tell us they'll be back in court again every single day. That's our program for tonight.
Yeah,
Thanks
but
so
why
much
ain't
for
they
watching. I'm
speaking
David
out more?
And I'm Deborah Roberts. From all of us here at 2020 and ABC News, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Well,
Peace.
there you have it. I mean,
That's
that didn't really do anything for me, to tell you the truth. That didn't do much for me. Like I said, you know, they didn't talk about Brian A., the cop, who's a Boston police officer. He was on Boston's Finest. You know, he was out in front of his house. There was a lady screaming in front of the house. He was a cop. He never came outside. They never mentioned the text messages. They never showed the video at 11:58, them throwing up the arms. They never talked about Higgins, how he texted, "You come in here, question mark, question mark, question mark." The video of him inside the bar fighting with Brian A. At 11:55, they share a kiss. 11:47, they're punching each other. 11:32, he texts Karen with John O'Keefe right next to him. And then 12:20, you come in here. The phone calls, the 44-second phone call on the way to Fairview that John O'Keefe had with Jen McCabe, followed up by another 36-second phone call that when she called him, that he called her back for the directions, which I don't believe that he was calling for directions at all. I believe that he was probably asking
what
what's going on.
what was said on the
What's
way to drop him off, like, you know, that's all the shit I thought we were gonna hear tonight, but we didn't. I mean,
They didn't say nothing. So if you were just a casual fan, and we're going based on a casual fan, if you're just a casual person watching this and have no idea about this case, that piece of footage, I mean, that piece of content, because that's all it is. It was just content. They were just trying to fill in a couple hours. And that's exactly what they did. There was no storytelling. There was no angles. There was no part two. There was no nothing. They're basically saying whatever happens, happens. They don't care. They spliced in a couple of other you know, pieces of footage in their content with her at the hotel, you know, speaking from the heart, how bad it's, you know, it's a weight over her head. But, you know, what about this, you know, when was that said? You know, how does she feel now? We never heard her after the mistrial. I want to hear her how she feels after the mistrial. We haven't heard that. So, you know, what do you feel, James? That's my take.
I mean, I feel the same exact way. I feel the same, like as I was saying with you. Someone said JFK, in other words, 2020 didn't tell the truth. I feel that way too. I feel 2020 was trying to maybe try to put some money in their pocket off this case, and use some of the footage and recycle some of their old footage into that. I feel like that's what they're doing. I feel
Well, I
20.
knew we talked about this. We said it's probably going to be
Yeah.
on the side of guilt. That's what it seemed like to me.
But no. It's not even so much on the side of guilt. It's just so much that
Well, they didn't show. They talk about the conspiracy, but what about the conspiracy that Lally said? Lally said she left the house and she circled back. She pulled up into the front of the house, seen his body out there, then flew to Jen McCabe's house, then went back and knew exactly where the body was, and that's why she got charged with murder. She got charged with murder because allegedly she went back to 34 Fairview and seen him there, and then went to Jen McCabe's. So that's a conspiracy in itself. Pastor Pepper, $4.99. I tuned into you too. You lured me in. I knew it would piss me off. Now I'm gonna be up all night. MSM, Mass State. What's that? MSM. What sucks?
Look at
Thank
this.
God.
Oh.
24-hour gyms. Yeah, man. I'm heading to the gym right after this myself.
Are you
And I don't.
really the way you feeling?
Yeah, hell yeah. Got to. Got no choice, bro. But yeah, you
You're
know, and
crazy. I mean, there's just way too much of this right here. If anyone knows what this is, there's a lot of reasonable doubt, and I've been thinking about that. There's way too much reasonable doubt. There's no way she's gonna go to jail. So I just don't understand what that interview, what it did for 2020 or what it did for anybody looking on. Like in new inspectors are gonna be like, all right, maybe now to pay attention to the case. Maybe that's why they did it. But I don't understand why they did it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they really
Yeah, we got 931 people up in here, man, that want to know. And like I said, there's plenty of things to think about. You're talking about that group text. When they was on that group text, a guy's not going to be like, hey, the cops are in front of your house. Anybody would say, who cares? They're not going to worry
Right.
about what Kerry Roberts is saying. They would have spoke out by now. This guy said, the guy read that I do at the beginning of my videos. He said that mainstream media. Yeah, I should have known, right? Thank you, Pastor Pepper. Thank you so much. Yeah, he said that that fans of a conspiracy, usually when there's that many people involved, someone cracks. Well, they're not going to crack. Because I don't know if they want this, the underbelly of Boston. You're talking about Boston police, state police, and they never talked about the feds in this. Never once did they bring up the feds and that
Right.
whole thing. The feds investigated the family. They never brought up how he sold the house, got rid of the dog. You know what I mean? Like if
that's
you're
what
gonna
they
tell
should be
if
talking. Yeah, if you're gonna
if you're
tell the
gonna tell the
story,
tell it right.
man.
You're
Yeah,
not telling it.
exactly.
2020 Friday night, September 6th, 2024. We're all up here. We had 1,200 people watching, and
Yeah.
they left that part out. So it made Karen. It didn't do any good for Karen. And whoever's pushing and pulling Karen needs to talk to Karen to get with some real dudes, because you don't need the mainstream media, the MSM, as Pastor Pepper would say. You don't need that.
Nope.
You need J.F.K. and James Jackson. You need Turtle
Yes, you
Boy. You
do.
need the Clara.
You need the real. You need to hear it the real. I mean, Turtle Boy too. He
You
needs
need
to maybe get some advice from us. He needs to hear it the real way. And what's gonna, other than just a lawyer, it's sometimes good to get advice from somebody that's been in a situation, because that's how you're gonna get it better than the raw.
Yeah, man.
You
So,
don't get it no better than that. So it's
Jay, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna drop this on them. Since I got 800 people in here, and and we'll just rock out to this, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thanks for everybody.
Read between the lines.
Check it out.
Yeah. Why? I know you feeling hurt, your mind flipped. That was a moment in time, can't rewind it. I seen your call, can't talk, declined it. Said I was sorry, liquor had me blinded. I know about your issues, you're not feeling well. What you going through, girl, is a living hell. Sometimes I bug out, I just flip and yell. Just come out tonight, we can sip and chill. I know about that night at the Pats game. You was real comfortable, and that's lame. When I bring it up, you act strange. That's okay, I ain't saying no names. Glad you pulled up though, we can take your legs. I told you before, that girl, see, that's my ex. You gotta chill, can't believe what you read in text. It's me and you right now, don't be complex. Now it's fine food, proper pints. Storm coming through after 2 lots of white. We gonna be snowed in, so let's start the fights. I know you wanna talk, girl, but not tonight. Got a text by C, he at the other spot. He there with his brother in that other cop. JM over there too, she just a soccer mom. Let's head over there, see what they talking about. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been sleeping. Life keeps going by, please tell me why am I living? Poison in my mind, losing sight now with this blind vision. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been sleeping. Laying on this grass, I can hear the snakes. Wish you would've told me he was feeling so erased. When he sent you that text, seen the fear in your face. Then he texted me too, then you drove away. Don't chase waterfalls, read between lines. Keep a fair view, protect your mind all times. Call 911, officer down. Don't make a sound. There's an officer in the house. All I can feel is my phone vibrate. Wish you was here, not sitting at my place. Who let the dogs out? Someone closed the gate. It's cold where the broken face. Please, Lord, not today. Laying on this grass, I can hear the snakes. Wish you would have told me he was feeling the way when he sent you that text. Seen the fear in your face. Then he texted me too. Coming here. Then you drove away. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten. Life keeps going by, please tell me why am I living? Poison in my mind, losing sight now with this blind vision. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV to watch up to 4 games live at once,